Hey everyone, got a bit of a unique book for you today. This is the Chronicle Guide to Bible Prophecy. So this one is pretty unique, from Todd Hampson, and the subtitle here is An Illustrated Panorama from Genesis to Revelation. And I think what's unique about this book is, clearly by its title, it is going to focus on prophecy, which is not a often talked about part of maybe literature. It's clearly mentioned a ton in the Bible, but yet when you think about it, it is a major backbone to the Christian faith, the Christian worldview, and it could be actually one of its strongest arguments for why the Bible actually is historically reliable because of its prophecy. And so this Todd Hampson has attempted to give a chronological take of what this could entail and just how much prophecy has been claimed in Scripture and how much actually has been fulfilled and has yet to be fulfilled. And I think people that take the time to read this, they'll be pleasantly surprised or maybe even shocked by how many prophecies have been fulfilled. So here's the contents. Has an introduction and 15 chapters with some notes at the end, so not too big of a book, 205 plus pages. What's going to be interesting about this book is how many sprinkled images and pictures and graphs that are in here. They don't make it too large or too overpowering. I love that it's in color, and I love the imagery that is used. They just offer these little sprinkled of statistics and information throughout the text. Even the most avid readers can sometimes struggle with books that are just pure text. I mean, if they're really into it, it won't stop them, but it is nice to get breaks like this, where it's not just pure text, and it kind of almost inspires you to keep going because you're flipping through the pages a little bit more faster and you don't feel mentally drained. So that's the thing about prophecy. I think that's something that could totally be in the realm of apologetics. There's not many books that talk about prophecy. If you're ever going to point to the legitimacy of Jesus, the Bible, and who God is, prophecy, it has to be the backbone almost in some ways of the Christian faith. Maybe not proving, but just showing that there's a strong argument and claim to be made that Christianity is true. One thing I really love the most about this book are these particular little short tables for each book. It's so small, yet it has such crucial information. So here, for example, Genesis, you have 1,500 total verses. That's kind of cool. They actually counted the verses. And what's really cool here is the prophecies, that there's 63, I guess, out of 116 that were in 116 verses. And then 21 of those were fulfilled, I believe, in 60 of those verses. But then you have total prophetic content, 214 verses, and then the percentage, which I find kind of cool too. So 14% of all of the prophecies mentioned are in the book of Genesis, if I'm reading that correctly. I find these little ones really cool, and they're going to do that for, I like to believe, every book. The gospel revealed in names in Genesis 5. So you got Adam, Seth, Enosh, Canaan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah. But yeah, let's see if we can get to Exodus here. Chapter 3, the rest of the Torah. Okay, here we go. Now we're in Exodus. Yeah, so the same table. So now they're saying here 17 prophecies in a span of, 114 verses. Fulfilled was 36 out of 71. So that's making sense. So you have 71 prophecies, 36 out of 71 were fulfilled. Types, again, I don't fully understand that. Total prophetic content, 412 verses. And if you're looking at 1,200 verses in Exodus, so a third of the entire book of Exodus is purely on prophetic content. I stand corrected. 34%, not of the Bible, of Exodus is of prophetic content, because clearly, I'm just doing a rough estimate, 400 out of 1,200, that's a third, and this looks about a third, really close. So I think that's what they actually are trying to say. And then the plagues. Sometimes I forget, was it 12? Was it 15? No, it's 10. There's some plagues that I think were just not focused very much when you see of, I think the Prince of Egypt was which is a really awesome cartoon movie. But when it comes to visual interpretations, I mean, not all the plagues were equally represented. So something like, for example, lice. I actually didn't remember that was a plague. Lice. And even darkness, that wasn't like touched on very much. Like it was more like the locusts, the boils, the hail, the flies, the frogs, the water, the blood, and of course the death of the firstborn. But there's a few here that I totally forgot about. So it's a nice reminder. But yeah, I'm just going to now flip through these pages now, just kind of show you what kind of visual information you can expect here. This one clearly is a very more recent book, and this Todd Hampson guy is putting a ton of work into constructing this book. So I don't know what else I can really add to it other than this has been, if there's anything I wish more I had of it, it's time. Reading takes time, but it is just a tremendous benefit to not only your mind, your body, your soul, but your mental health. There's just so much good stuff out there. Clearly the Bible doesn't always make sense. It sometimes doesn't make sense to me. Sometimes it seems far-fetched, but when you read a book like this, you can clearly tell that the books of the Bible are historical books and that they are reliable. You don't actually have to be a scholar to like get to the bottom of things, and a book like this kind of proves that. Let's quickly see what's at the end here. 3 references. Wow. You don't see that often. But then, yeah, you have other great reading by Todd Hampson, which I had no idea that he did something on the end times, and I guess there's a workbook companion to it, and then the book of Revelation, which would be a tremendous resort, because if there's ever a time where skeptics just find the Bible really weird or crazy and strange, it's one of those books would definitely be Revelation. And of course, spiritual warfare. I had no idea the series existed. I just came across this one in my store. Todd Hampson. This is one of several books I've yet to discover, but just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an inside look of what you can expect or what this book is all about. And if you're interested in what it all entails, now you know what's inside of it.